back first.
Because he's right by the front door. To get to my room, you'd have to kill like 3 people. Because I'm the last room.
So,
Would alert, because I have the keyless delivery thing where they can leave packages inside the house.
Nice.
ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, whenever they show up, it pings me when they're at my door, and then
Okay.
I check my camera and I can see who it is, and I'm like, unlock the door, and it unlocks the door.
So last time, you guys started in the basement after purifying the orb and kind of like defeating a demon, and all of a sudden Caius turns around and he's got a kid in his arms. You guys take the kid in.
Well, I miss her.
Oh.
Guys.
Oh.
He never tried to murder us.
Don't appreciate what you got until it's gone.
I know, it used to be so annoying, and now it's like, oh, this is for someone that won't try to murder us.
Right? You guys went back to your temple. Caius went his separate way. Trying to fix some of the stuff that was going on in Sacramento. You guys met a barbarian named Nima. A disagreeable barbarian who, for some odd reason, had a grudge against the kid that you were hanging out with.
I would say more argumentative than disagreeable, but
Despite that, you recruited her for your journey home. Made it about halfway, saw a circus. Visited Sylvanas' house and dropped off some rare grapevines. Went back to Vallejo, got on a ship, and Nima went a little crazy and started attacking the kid that you were protecting. Sylvanas performed a serious beatdown. And you other two kind of helped out by blinding her, deafening her, taking 6 strength away from her, tying her up after you told her to give you her weapon, and threw her in the brig, where she has been downstairs for 3 days on this ship, raging. Go ahead and do a... history check. Anybody who wants to. Yeah.
There it is. 18.
Okay.
7. 5.
Okay.
we don't know a lot about it.
So, you remember on your way or your way out, all the traveling that you did, you and Caius did some talking, and he, coming from a barbarian-based society, told you about these rare barbarians called berserkers who literally cannot control their rage, to the point that they lose their self in their rage at a certain point. And it kind of looks like that's what's going on downstairs. Nima has been completely incoherent since you put her down there, except for screaming, yelling, and literally foaming at the mouth. Difficult to feed her. She's been pulling at her bonds. She can't even cast spells anymore. She's just screaming, and the louder she gets, the more she thinks she can hear, but she can't. And then right about the time you crested the bay to see San Francisco in the distance, she stopped screaming and started talking to herself.
She's crazy.
Takesis, the boy, I'm going to write that down so I don't keep reminding myself.
I'm going to keep asking because I could not remember his name last time.
Tokesis.
Yeah.
It's like when you're
Toke.
taking a toke and a thesis.
That won't help me.
A thesis on toking.
It's my Totinos. Has been getting along with Lue really, really well. He's just kind of been keeping to himself, a little bit more withdrawn than usual after the incident, but not horrible. I mean, he's a kid. He's gonna get over it.
Yeah.
He doesn't look permanently damaged by it. And you are now in San Francisco Bay.
Sweet.
Cool.
We're heading to the library, right?
Correct. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the kid and the how he
So,
came out of
Is there anything you want to do to prep before you land?
Yeah, I'll do
How
all
much time do we have?
A couple hours, maybe.
I'll spray.
Okay.
Ditto. Set my 4 spells.
I mean, you guys can set whatever you want just because you've been on the boat for a while.
course.
Yeah.
And then, I go check into Kisis. I do our chores around the boat because that is one of the conditions that we're here.
Yeah.
We're working. Other than that, I don't really have much to do.
Nokomis, did you need to do anything?
Not really.
Okay.
If any of you guys need anything?
No,
Mm-mm.
because I don't feel like there's enough time to hold the wand.
No, it's just a couple hours.
So
Yeah, I mean you've had time.
we got held up.
Well, that I
No,
mean,
but I did get some charges in the.
yeah, you did. And like half the time you were working because that was kind of the agreement that you would work half the time, and then you'd have half the time to yourself. So that other half the time you spent.
Yeah.
That incident only like took full on like 5-10 minutes. It was jarring, but it didn't take very long.
Should have used that spell on her.
Well, we only had a couple seconds to figure out spells. About shit. What's happening right
You
now?
guys did a really good job of incapacitating her.
I was very upset.
This is the first time we've actually tried to incapacitate
Incapacitating someone without taking them down. Alright, good job, us.
Hey.
I was like, oh crap, what do I have to hurt somebody without hurting them?
I know now we all know not to get in a one-on-one with Sylvanas either.
Bitch hits
Oh,
hard.
as long as the deaf and blind him.
Right.
I
It
don't
doesn't
know.
roll out on
Let's
his
see how-
saves, yeah.
Let's see how your brute force goes up against our spells.
I don't think it'd go very well. I have no intention of fighting again.
Did you guys want to train at all
And what?
Yeah.
while you're doing this? I mean, definitely like after that whole fight, training together would probably be a good idea.
Like
Yeah.
knowing how to incapacitate someone.
Yeah. I mean, did you actually want to spend some time on it?
On doing what?
Yeah, we can spend some time training together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like teamwork stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because seriously, like in this game, if you guys decide to take time to do something and train for it, I don't mind giving it to you.
What does that mean?
So there's a bunch of teamwork feats that when you work together,
They do special things.
yeah, they do, like they empower certain things. And if you guys actually want to take time to train and work on that stuff in game, I don't mind, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at what
Definitely start
these are,
doing that
right?
though.
No.
Yeah, that's definitely something we can start doing.
I'm
as well.
super okay with rewarding you guys for like extra work. I don't mind
The
that.
teamwork ones, literally right there.
hmm There's not a lot of them, but a lot of them could help.
That is a lot.
There might be more than what I remember because they've updated since.
I mean, it's not a lot. It's a lot to just go over. Real
Yeah. But for now, let's say you train together for
Couple hours.
a couple hours a day for the last 2 days.
Mhm.
And you guys land in San Francisco. It's bustling. It's busy. It smells like fish. It smells like dead fish. There's a lot of seagulls. It's loud. It's crowded. But it doesn't look super organized either. Not the way you've seen in Vallejo. It just kind of looks like the city's trying to get back on its feet as fast as possible
Yeah.
and stepping on anybody who's getting in the way.
Okay.
What are we gonna do about?
We'll take it with us.
Just, yeah.
Yeah. You can just leave her on the ship.
But you cannot.
So.
Dump it in the water.
Is that stuff permanent?
Yeah.
It's
Until
permanent.
I get rid of it.
The end. Oh, is it a concentration thing?
I have to look at this.
Because if it's concentration, then it's
I
already.
know
gone.
I know it's permanent on the strength. and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's permanent on the deaf and blindness.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
we did some. We get off the boat. How do we want to get over to the library? Do we want to?
Oh, everybody put a like a point in sailor
Okay.
for jobs.
We put a point into it.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. It should let you. Because you guys were on the boat for 5 days. You had to pick up something.
We've done it twice now.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
Well, the first time you were just passengers. this time you guys helped out a
I
lot
already
more.
have 3 points in Sailor.
There
I
you
am
go.
just a regular seaman.
Just couldn't let that one go, could you?
Nope. I couldn't do it.
It says, you call upon the powers of unlife to render the subject blinded or deafened as you choose.
Okay, what's the duration on there?
Permanent.
Okay, cool.
Whoops.
No, I mean he can heal it if he wants.
I can. I have that spell. I'm not.
So you now have a tall, lanky, and she's 128 pounds and 6'4".
Yeah.
She's a stick of a woman. She's very, very wiry,
And she's wiggly.
and she is tied up. She cannot see where she's going. She cannot hear you. She's not as strong as she used to be, and she is literally just like mumbling to herself. You cannot understand anything that she's saying.
It's under professions.
Sometimes she looks around
Plus 5 is there?
and looks at one of you, and then literally looks through you, and then looks away. It's very unsettling.
Okay. So how do we want to get over to the library? Do you want to see if we can take a transportation circle?
Well, I think we should drop her off somewhere
Out of
first.
prison? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe we find like the authority in this area.
Yeah. We can do that.
So I really don't want to haul her off.
I don't either.
I don't want to carry
No,
her.
absolutely.
I don't want to actually even bring this to the library.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Okay.
What? We have good standing.
No,
there.
I totally
Let's not
understand,
walk
yeah.
in with a crazy person.
Yeah, so we disembark and we start searching, for like a police officer or some sort of
Okay, do a knowledge local with advantage.
authority. 11 plus.
Don't we know like the mayor of this district or something?
20.
Yeah, right?
With advantage.
So roll it again and take the higher.
Yep, it's the same.
Okay. You look around and
Loaded dice.
there's a couple of guards walking around, and you start chatting with them, and they're like, "Well, we don't know. I mean, we're just trying to keep order around here right now. You would probably have to take her over to Alcatraz to like get someone to take her in. But right now, we're just kind of like, we've got shit to do, yo.
Okay.
We've got a lot of stuff around here. There are people going crazy, trying to get their lives back together. But there is a ferry out to Alcatraz every afternoon if you want to take it and take her with you.
Okay. What time is it right now?
It's probably mid-morning, early afternoon. What?
For what? Oh, take it out there? We can go together. I mean, it's early afternoon, so
Yeah.
you said afternoon, so we can
We can get her out there, get back.
yeah, grab
Still
a.
have time to go to the library.
There's
We can-
definitely plenty of time to get out there and get. It's not that far.
Yeah.
You guys have been there before,
We have.
and it took a lot longer the last time.
No, there were sea
We can get a
creatures.
boat,
It was
sea
seamen.
creatures.
And Storm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let's we go down. I guess we're still at the docks, but do you want to head over and see if we can find a ferry out there so we can drop off this crazy person?
Yeah, I say let's go find the ferry, get rid of our crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most of our crazy. And try and get back before it gets too late.
Okay. Yeah. You find the ferry. It's not hard to find, but you notice that it's kind of full. Looking around, it looks like a lot of the people on this boat are being arrested for stupid shit.
Petty crimes.
Petty crimes, yeah. Like, the city was going to shit anyway. They decided to take advantage of it, and some of these people got caught.
They're on the boat.
Can we just tie her to the back of the boat?
Yeah.
They're not going to let you do that.
Just throw her on the boat.
So we go up to a guard and
He takes your name, writes it down. Like, why are you taking this woman to Alcatraz?
this woman tried to kill this small child that we were with on the boat that we just came in on from Vallejo.
Madness.
And yeah,
Okay, and he kind of looks at her and kind of does the eye thing, and she just stands there and keeps mumbling to herself. He's like, "All right, get her on the boat, but only one of you with her. This boat's already full."
I'll go. It's fine.
Okay.
You guys take Tuki, sis. Yeah, take care. Okay, that's fine. So I'll go.
Okay. It's a pretty uneventful ride. There's a couple other crazy people on here, but not like her.
Mhm.
Robin, let's go shopping.
I knew you guys were gonna do that. Find
get it.
something for me.
Let's get Tokisa some nice clothes since, you know, she's probably not.
Are we kind of broke still?
No.
We have like 5K.
Yeah, that is heading its way over to Alcatraz right now because
Yeah.
he's
He
I
took
have,
the money.
I have 2,400.
okay. Cool.
I have
So you
2,300.
take the ferry over. They sit you down. They drill you about everything that happened. They do some tests. You explain to them that
She's
blind,
in a
deaf,
Weekend state.
yeah, and that, you know, she was raging for 3 whole days, and then all of a sudden she stopped and started talking to herself, and they're like, okay, yeah, we've seen this before, go ahead and take her down here, and blah, 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 all that stuff. And while you're doing that, what are you guys doing?
We are getting Tokisa some nice clothes because he deserves it. Because he went through a traumatic experience, and nothing's better than bad parenting than just presents.
Well, it is a good thing you did that, because the only clothes he actually had were the ones that you bought for going over the mountain, so they're very warm right now.
Yeah, we're getting-
He's been sweating for a little
He still
while.
has one pair of clothes.
Well, the other pair was kind of a pair of rags, so yeah, pretty much.
So we get him like not mountain clothes.
What kind of clothes are you looking for?
Nothing super fancy. We're not going to party or anything.
No. Just something comfortable for him to wear around the city
Yeah.
and
Okay.
out toward the library. Do you need any ammo?
You aren't even in contact with him, he's
Yeah.
too far away.
I'm too far away.
Dang. Wouldn't I know kind of where he is?
You guys weren't really talking about it.
Fine.
I mean, he didn't use any arrows fighting, you know.
Unless you were practicing. During practice, maybe, but it's
Well,
up to you guys.
that was
he has
close-
most of the
That was
majority of the
close
gold.
quarters combat. We know our ranger doesn't shoot all that well.
Wow, he shoots better than you.
Ranger's outside of earshot. So.
Yeah, you guys are downtown. It's not hard to find a shop that will,
Regular clothes.
yeah, like some pants, a tunic, a waistcoat,
How much is that?
some decent shoes. Oh god, like a gold.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's inexpensive.
Bam.
They're basic clothes. They're not like
Covered it.
anything fancy. They're not like, you know.
Dress clothes like we got.
Yeah, yeah. And he walks around with you, like his eyes are as big as sewer lids. He
Give him
just
some
cannot
candy.
believe how many people around here.
Candy. That leads
Uh,
to dentist expenses later.
He's like holding your hand and he's holding Louie's in the other, and you guys look like a proper family walking around. And he's just kind of chattering back and forth. He'll point at something every so often, or at one point, actually, he tries to pull away from you and lets go of your hand and runs off in like some weird random direction.
Follow, obviously.
And
Don't want to lose the kid that we just saved.
We're gonna run after him and have Louis kind of ask him why he ran off.
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna follow him, see where he's going, because he clearly
yeah, and he runs like half a block away, and he's like literally standing in front of a food vendor, like,
I was hungry. Okay. Yeah.
We can eat.
Yeah.
You know.
We can get him some food.
I could use some food.
yeah, you all could probably use some food right about
So
now.
we have lunch.
Okay.
We have a full lunch.
Cuckoo. All right, and by the end of your shopping spree / lunch, because they have to tailor some of the stuff, Sylvanas is back on land-ish in the city and has no idea where you guys are.
Hey, girl, you back?
It's only 500 feet, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. He's not close enough to hear you.
Okay, well, nope, he's not back yet.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna.
I check every 5 minutes, be like,
Hold on.
Are you gonna go back to where you left him?
Well, I mean, we kind of know the timing of all this,
Well,
right?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah.
The city's pretty safe right now. We can just.
Do we really feel like walking all the way back to the docks? We should just whisper to him and have him come join us.
have him come join us.
Yeah.
We're close to the library right now, aren't we?
No, no, you're still
And the
downtown.
That was super far.
You're downtown.
We have to
yeah.
take
The
a portal.
docks are closer to.
You're closer to the docks.
I mean,
than
we
you are
could
the
be
library.
nice and buy him a snack since we just had lunch and
Oh, yeah,
have him
I
come
guess I
meet
could do
us.
that. I guess I could do that. We can meet him at the transportation station
Yeah, you could totally do that.
because we need to go there anyway. Right?
What is the range on Whisper?
500 feet. Oh, whisper.
No, that's what I'm looking up now. Where is it?
I
Too many spells.
Tell me about
I know, right?
Well, he's a bard and a sorcerer now.
it. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking I had something I don't have.
Wrong game.
Well, I'm thinking like, well, you know, I know that we have to meet at the library.
Do a knowledge local for me. Then do a perception afterwards.
Knowledge local is...
Oh, I do have something that will do this though.
23,
Okay.
and then perception is 22.
Okay. So you know the city. You know cities pretty well. It's not hard for you to figure out that they probably it's about lunchtime and they're with a kid, so they're probably eating.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of wander over to some place that looks like it would have like snacks or food or something like that, and you kind of see them off in the distance, sitting next under a tree, eating little meat pies.
McDoubles.
How do I have that one but not the other one that's so
Okay,
weird?
well, I head over to them.
Okay.
Hey, we got rid of the crazy person. Did you
Yeah.
guys get me any food? I'm pretty hungry.
Got you some chicken nuggets
Oh, I love
from
chicken.
McDoubles.
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 I found it. I do have it.
Because not copyright.
You do have whisper.
I just didn't realize it was a level 2 spell.
Oh,
Yay.
what's the range on it?
1 mile per level.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's half the city.
Yeah, I think you could do that.
Well, I'm already with you guys anyway, so.
Yep.
So now we need to go to a transportation
8 miles.
station.
It'd be half the city.
So
That's
we're just
bigger.
going 7 miles less than 100 minutes.
Yeah.
I also have
Times that by
animal.
2.
I have animal messenger too. The problem is that you don't speak animal, do you?
I can speak to animals.
Okay. We can do
I don't have it equipped, but I can speak to animals.
It is a possibility.
I could have said something, but I'm not sure. Gonna
I
talk to you.
spoke to a
about
frog
it.
one time.
Figured our urban ranger could find us in a city.
I found you. I'm here.
He did.
So we need to head to a transportation station to go to the library, right?
Yep.
We can buy
We
travel
buy
stones there.
Yeah.
It was a group one, right? Last time?
Yeah,
So we
there's
need
a
2
group-
though, right?
Only 2 group ones.
Yeah.
Well, no, we went.
It's 3 per pop.
Isn't it? I don't know.
No.
It's like 5 for the whole for 4 people, but you've got like a kid and a foot tall fairy.
Okay.
So if they
It's
hold,
a foot tall. Okay.
If she
Yeah, I do
stands
too,
on
but-
his head,
she's about a foot tall. She's about that tall.
if she stands on the kid's head, that's about a person.
Yeah.
Then 4 of us can travel.
There you go. Perfect. So we do that. We go.
We
We,
did
Yeah, yeah, super easy.
Get a giant trench coat.
Little fairy head.
Little fairy head with children arms.
Big kid body.
Oh god.
How dare you?
I really want to do that. Okay, yeah, so we go up to the vendor.
Yeah, yeah, super easy.
Mm-hmm.
You drop your coin. He gives you the stone. You walk in to the circle. It is a lot easier than you remember. The magic is somehow working a lot better than it used to. Probably because, yeah, pretty much. You took care of the tower. You took care of Alcatraz and all that stuff. So the magic is actually flowing a lot easier and a lot better. And it's seconds and you're done. You don't even feel the pull anymore. It's just instant.
See the way I told you to be okay? No more stench wings.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Right. She kind of looks at her wings a little skeptical and then floats around. She's like, "Okay, fine, you're right for once." And you guys deposit the dead stone and walk out, and you are about 4 or 5 blocks away from the edge of Golden Gate Park or Golden Gate Forest.
Okay. Perfect. We start walking over there.
As you're walking, you can see figures flying to and from.
Bee things.
Yeah. You recognize them as, yes, the bee people, the librarians.
This was a while ago.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but because it's been. It was literally more than a month ago, or a year ago.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, you guys have been playing for like a year and a half.
This was September 17th, 2017.
Wow. Okay, so we keep heading over.
Okay. It's easy enough to pass through. It doesn't look like there's a guard around it like there used to be. Again, things have calmed down in the city a little bit. You see patrols, elven patrols in the forest, but they're not out to get anybody that doesn't look suspicious. When you walk in, and it is a sight to behold. It is bustling around the library. There are bee women of all shapes and sizes. There's huge ones with spears and swords that are kind of around, like posted around the actual clearing. There are smaller ones, and there are larger ones that are carrying loads back and forth. It is bustling. It's busier than you've ever seen it here. And all you hear is buzzing everywhere.
So we head up to the main building because we need to go speak to
Council 4? Council 3 now?
No,
That's in Singorn.
That's in Singorn. It should be like a queen.
It was a queen
Yeah,
someone.
That was before I got this book.
Oh, okay.
It was before we started taking notes. No!
I know.
It was a different book.
Oh, it was in
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I feel like we.
Heading back to the library, but not on good terms. After Peach is attacked, I see you, see Corval. Time to sneak
That's
back
fine,
into
that's
the
fine.
library. Elves take us to the Council 4.
Okay, so I guess I'm just waiting it because I don't have any idea what that person's name is.
Didn't really give you a name.
The Queen Bee thing?
Yeah, there was the seer, and there was the queen, but they didn't really give names. Yeah.
We were calling her the queen. Because
Yeah.
I haven't asked the queen.
Okay, so as we're heading, we just are heading over to the building. Let me know.
Yeah, and as you get close, you notice that there is one woman standing out front, and you recognize her as the seer that helped you out the first time you were in there with the potions and things like that, and then also came to assist you later on with the council before you guys went to the Davidson district. And she smiles and nods at you, and then she sees the boy, and she just stops. Her eyes stare. She cannot, in startlement, she cannot believe what she's seeing. And she disappears inside at a run.
That's always good.
Yeah.
Did we scare her off?
She'd probably recognize the child from something. Like,
Seer?
yeah. I mean, that's the only reason I could think.
Should we follow?
I think we follow.
Do we bring in the child?
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna leave him behind.
Or does one of us stay behind with the child outside the library?
We could do that. Whatever you guys want.
Just in case.
Well, you guys are going to be close. I can stay with him while you go
Because
inside.
we're still like we're inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just
That's fine.
We're just gonna stand inside the foyer, or are you gonna stand outside with him and wait for the other two?
Do you want to wait in the foyer while we go and investigate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And as you step in,
Just remember to leave your earrings open.
guards step up to you and surround you. They point to you holding the child's hand. You come with us,
Okay.
and they escort you out of the room. And I'll get to you in a second.
Keep your ear on.
Did they take the child as well, I assume?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
You two, come with us. The queen will speak with you now.
Okay.
They lead you through a bunch of hallways. You see, as you're looking around, the creatures flying in and out with the large bees with scrolls and things, just doing what they do. And as you walk by, you hear like a little murmur. You can't really hear what they're saying. You get to the throne room, and you see the queen sitting with her male attendants, and she looks pissed. As they approach, the guards spread out, and she stands up. What have you done?
Well, we went seeking after the orb, as you instructed us to. In Sacramento, we found this demonic ritual that was happening. We defeated a demon, a plague demon, and after that, we went to purify the orb, and a child came out. Instead.
How did it escape?
I don't know what you're referring to. It
The
was just,
child. How was it removed from the orb?
We just saw a child when we went to go purify it, and we grabbed it and took it with us.
Is that what we did? Shit.
Do you know how many lives were lost in making that orb? Putting that child in that orb? Do you know how many more will be destroyed fixing what you've done?
What we've done,
Wait, what?
if I remember correctly, you are the one who lost the orb in the first place.
We did not lose the orb at all. We gifted the orb. We were not guarding it.
Well,
But the orb. Oh, okay. So the orb that.
Should have brought our Blood Rager to give up as a sacrifice.
Look, we were getting the orb back.
we were attempting to get the
doing
orb
a
back.
favor.
Yeah.
Like, how are we in trouble here?
Once the being is removed from the orb, it can no longer be used.
The orb?
The being? You mean the child?
If that's what it still is, yes.
And what else would it
What?
be?
Well, what is it?
That is none of your concern.
Kind
Well,
of.
you sent us on a life
Or dead.
endangering mission, and apparently you didn't give us all the facts.
He died.
Several times.
And many more have died making the orb in the first place. That is not an excuse.
But I mean,
Where is the orb?
The orb is gone.
cracked open in the town. Or did it crack
Yeah,
open?
it
Cracked
like,
open in the
oh no,
town.
I have the dead orb.
Yeah. Boom.
It's
And-
intact, it just isn't
It's
power
intact.
left.
You hold it up, and one of the guards grabs it from your hand and takes it to the queen. It's useless.
I could have told you that.
Give him the raw material.
We have this raw material as well that we
You
found.
what?
Raw orb material
Where did you find that?
in a cave on our way to Sacramento near Vallejo.
We thought you might find it of use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all is not lost.
Whew,
But
finally.
unfortunately, this is going to be a bigger undertaking than you could ever imagine. Is the child safe?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Been taken care of, fed, clothed. Is with our compatriot.
Unfortunately, the child's useless as well. But
I mean, it's a
The
child.
useless.
Like I wouldn't.
Can we like?
necessarily
We can't
call-
have any information on the child. Like, what is it?
it's a child.
Just a human child?
Yes,
Why does it need to be put in an orphan?
it's not a human child.
It's a child.
It's mortal. But all right. In creating the orbs, we need an innocent at the very beginning. We do not keep the tithe that's given to us to create the orbs. That is compensation to the family of the child. We take the child soon after it's born, and in a very complex ritual, fuse the child into the orb. With certain other components, it extends the life of the being that goes into the orb, and enhances the power of the orb to a certain purpose. You have the raw material to make a new one. Unfortunately, you do not have all the components.
Yeah, missing.
Is one of three things that you'll need.
What are the other two?
So let me get this
They want our help
straight.
doing it?
You sacrifice innocent children for this power.
They're not killed.
You're sacrificing the life.
They're
They're
dead
not
either,
dead. They
because
also
it's
have no
also
semblance of a life.
alive right now.
They have no semblance of a life.
For the betterment of the entire city.
For the embetterment of the entire
Okay,
city.
that's fine.
one
Hey,
life in the entire city.
I'm just, making sure I understand all the facts.
We have the golden child scenario.
happy.
going on
Kai. I'm so happy Kaius is here right now.
Kaius would be super upset.
He would be really upset.
He's super pissed. I'm also not super happy, but I'm not, opposed to
What are the
sacrificing
other
children.
two? What are the other two components? Those sound like a lot worse than sacrificing, which is not sacrificing because they're still in there.
Well, did they want our help getting them? Is that our next little?
Well, the first is the
endeavor?
scale of a time dragon.
That sounds
Okay. That sounds doable.
Um,
That sounds
I
real.
live in time. There is dragons.
Unfortunately, time dragons do not live in time.
They live outside of time. Crafty bastards.
And the second, and last, is you will need to take the raw material to a crystal dragon and have them shape it and refine it before we find another child, which is the third and final component, and fuse them together. The scale of the time dragon elongates the life of the child so that it lives to be anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 years old, powering the orb.
So it lives slightly out of time inside the orb.
Yes. It ages much slower than it normally would.
So this sounds doable.
I really want some time dragon armor.
I mean, wouldn't be bad. Having some
I
time.
wonder if it would
Okay.
extenuate my life.
So, could we possibly help you make this?
If you're willing, yes.
Very much so.
It is not an easy endeavor, especially finding the things that you need.
Also,
Neither was getting that orb back.
We didn't really do.
We got the raw material, so
God, we
give
could
us
have
a
just stopped
second.
right there.
We could have.
Oops, unrecoverable. Sorry, we took a shortcut.
What you will need to do, though, is return the child to its home. We cannot do that.
Hasn't this child been inside of the orb for like
Yeah, his
Quite a
family's
bit of
not
time.
alive, is it?
Descendants. It's
descendants?
they're probably very well-known families or families. known for
The orb was
sacrifice.
created about 250 years ago. So, his people are still alive, but they are not easy to find. That's the other stipulation for the creature that needs to go into the orb. They are very rare.
Certain type
Not
of
just
children.
any children. Fey children. He may look like an elf, but he's closer to actual Fey than he is an elf.
Okay.
Fairy child.
Yes.
So you're gonna lose on a child.
No, she's not.
Also not innocent after that whole necromancy.
No, she's very. Louis is actually a lot older than you think.
But
Or
actual,
one fey child, one cup.
It's a recipe for disaster.
God damn it.
Crystal dragon shapes it for taste.
If you are definitely intent on taking this endeavor, I suggest you retire to the library. We will have
Study crystal dragon.
yes, we will have rooms set up for you. This may take some time. Nobody's seen a time dragon in years. More like
Because you're
millennia.
measuring it by time.
Exactly.
Damn it.
Crystal dragons are also not very,
You had to
are
do
very
this. You
difficult to
knew he was
find.
gonna go there.
I know, right?
And can we see our friend, please? Just kind of escorted her away.
Yes. Yes. And she waves,
Okay.
and they pick her up and carry her out of the room. The guards surround you, but they're not as threatening as before, and they lead you into a small room. They escorted you into a small room, locked the door, or closed the door and locked it, and left you in there. As you were sitting in there, you kind of heard a humming that didn't sound like buzzing. And as you got up to touch the walls, your hand was smacked back, and it looked like there was a barrier placed on the room. Sat there with the kid for, like 15, 20, 30 minutes, and all of a sudden the buzzing ends and the door opens and your companions are standing outside.
And I pretend to be blind and deaf and screaming at myself.
Guess what? We signed up for an impossible mission.
It's gonna be super fun.
We have to look for a dragon that exists outside of time.
Apparently, to make an orb, you have to sacrifice an innocent child.
Fey child.
Fey child. Yeah.
And
That one's useless now, apparently. They discard it.
Right.
Tacosis is fine.
Takesis.
Whatever.
Tuberculosis is fine.
T-Dog is fine.
T-Dog
T-Dog is fine. And we need a crystal dragon, which is also apparently impossible to find. Aren't you dragonic?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That works out. By the time we actually find one, you probably level up enough too.
I'm not that kind of draconic.
So dumb. Okay. So they suggest that we head to the library because we need to study.
So who's got what?
I
I call time dragon.
That's fine.
Yes.
Don't you need to know if you have the knowledge to research that dragon?
No, I do not. I have no knowledge. But I'm pretty sure the only knowledge, like, you have better knowledge and you probably have better
He
knowledge.
probably has a better knowledge than both of us combined. And seeing as we also need to find the Fae family of this child,
Oh,
and you're a Fae, you could probably look at that as well. So you'd probably be best to know.
find the Phage family. Like, isn't that like a Hall of Records situation for the city?
I have no idea.
I mean, what I know about Fae families, they grew up in the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't grow up in the woods. You grew up as a slave. You were born in the woods.
Much better.
I think we prefer the term indentured servant.
No, she
No,
was a
that
slave.
was
slave.
slave. That's slave.
I'm
I
just like,
understand what it is.
Yeah, she was a slave. I mean, you can do some research if you wanted to.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're heading to the
Basically, what we're
library.
doing right now is just research and development.
Yeah.
do it.
Okay.
So where do we want to start? I think we should return the kid before we do anything else. Do we have access to the library after this, so we can go and return the child and come back?
Yes, absolutely. It's a public library.
Okay.
Once we figure out where they're going to
You
be.
just have to have permission to go in. That's all.
Do we want to figure out where to take Tokesis
Tokesis.
and take him home to
Mhm.
his
Strangers?
To
Does
his pe-
Tokesis have any benefit to our group?
It's a child. I'd rather not have to take care of a child.
A 3,000-year-old child.
Like
that we can
200-year-old
barely
child.
speak to, that as far as we've seen has
Zero.
no fighting or magical abilities.
That he knows of.
Yeah.
He's fused with an orb. Let's have something.
I think it's best if we return him
to his family.
We also know we have to return him, so
Yeah.
we might as well just do that.
Whatever.
Okay.
Just think
You
about
don't
it
have
this
to
way.
return him if you don't want to.
Just
It's
think
up to
about
you
this:
guys.
the more he eats, the less you get to drink.
I don't drink.
Not
Only
much
in
maybe.
real life.
Only in real life, not in the game, sir.
Oh, that's right. You swore off of it.
I think I
Because,
have a glass
like,
of wine with dinner every now and then.
But like ever since that
Only
one
from
time
your
when we got
estate.
miniatures,
Yeah.
yeah, drink all your shit.
That's fine.
When we were staying in a fucking barn, like, when down the road it was an estate that we could have stayed at. Anyway,
You
that's
digress.
neither here nor there.
But you're not bitter.
He
Not at all.
digresses. Anyways,
Um,
I think it's best we return. I mean, you know, the road is not a place for a child, and it sounds like what we're going to be doing is going to be.
Well, also, if these are ancient people, they might have an idea of where to find the other
yeah.
two
And
components.
they might have some cool shit.
is it ancient people though, or is it just like
Yeah,
his
well-
family?
Well, they're not ancient people as far as that's concerned, but they're
Fae.
fae of a very special nature.
They're elusive. Yeah,
They're very
hard to
elusive.
find.
That may have historical knowledge that we're not yet aware
Crystal
of.
and Time Dragons. Okay, that's fine.
I
Let's do
mean,
that.
it sounds like something if one of the family's children, like if one of their children were passed down for this
purpose,
honor,
sole purpose, they
this
probably
purpose,
have
they
like,
probably have at least some knowledge or history of it.
Also, probably got some children on the side that are just willing and ready to go to sacrifice.
On the side. This is a child we're talking about. But anyways, that's fine.
Yeah,
Think
like
of it as like
the firstborn getting
sacrificial
married
lamb.
off your first daughter to
I
like
understand.
secure an alliance with France.
I get it. I get it. I'm just a little upset that I'm the only one who thinks that it might be like a little,
What's your
but not
line?
that great.
I grew
I'm
up a
true
damn
neutral.
slave.
You're
Get
true
over
neutral?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm also true neutral. Come on.
No, I'm this
The
is how I
betterment of the
feel.
entire city.
I get it.
True neutral people care about some
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, true when it's like not true neutral.
I like to think, like, what would Jack O'Neill think?
Jack O'Neill's not true neutral.
He's not.
Either you're more neutral good.
Yeah.
Like OG season 1 Teal is true neutral.
That's fine. Anyways, let's do some research and see if we can't locate where this kid is from.
Yeah,
and then do
that's
that.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do we begin?
The
I
library.
have no idea. They just point us
Yes.
to the library.
Books.
Phase.
Well, maybe there are
Books
people
on
there
phase.
at the library. There's like librarians.
There are librarians, yes.
Ask them.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just walk up and ask a librarian
Yeah.
about.
We're looking for some elusive fucking fairy people.
Okay, well, that would be in the Feywild section.
Thank you very much.
A family name would have been.
I don't have a family name. Wait, oh, Takesis is his name. Wait, I don't know his last. Where's Lue?
She's around.
Lue, can you ask Takesis if he has a last name?
He doesn't have a last name.
Yeah, that's what
His last name is Orb.
I thought.
It could
His
be.
middle name is The.
Takesis
No.
Oh my god. Okay, so you guys are studying the Feywild now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just endeavor
what-
to dive in.
What kind of? We know what language he's speaking, right?
Sylvan, yes.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll a knowledge history.
We look up. I guess we have to
20.
Don't even try.
Lower!
A 20?
Well, I was gonna say, well,
15.
like, they're looking at that. Can
You can
studies? What's the language?
Sylvan.
Sylvan?
Yeah, you can study it, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That'd be knowledge.
you're looking through books and you're having a really hard time finding anything specific. You find information on the Feywild. It's a dangerous place. Things are a little bit brighter, a little bit happier. They're also a little bit darker and a little bit more depraved, depending on what you run into. Things there run on emotions. They don't run on rationality.
Really glad we got rid of our Blood Ranger.
Yeah, the Fae, in general, control things with their emotions. They're easily insulted. They're also vain. They're very powerful as well. The higher ups are very powerful.
Okay.
It is generally a dangerous place. Definitely emotions affect the environment around you. And it just, I mean, literally, it's not easy to get to either. So there's the material plane, there's the Feywild, and there's the Shadowwild. So the material plane is kind of in between. And then there's the heavens and the hells above and below. But the Feywild and the Shadowwild are kind of side by side you. One is uber bright and one is uber drab. And you are right in the middle. Fairies and fairy creatures travel back and forth. Thanks for that.
We should just pass it away.
Yeah, you keep that warm.
She's like, ooh, that tingles.
Right. Lue has never been, before you ask. But she knows a couple people that have. As far as like elusive races and things like that, you couldn't find much. Not with the 20.
Can I keep researching?
It would take another day or so.
I mean, that's what we're here for. So
Yeah,
if
like,
I
like
can
a
have-
research.
But for right now, that's about all you can find. What were you looking up?
I wanted to study Sylvan.
Sylvan.
And Fae customs. And so they're like really or like easily insulted.
Okay, and what did you do a shoot? What knowledge would that be?
Yeah, right. Because would it fall under linguistics? Or would it fall under knowledge? language, or-
Well, Sylvan would fall under linguistics. That's more of a practice thing,
yeah,
not a looking up thing. I mean, you can find books on it
yeah.
and all that stuff. You would need to practice though. As far as do a knowledge and ability to see if you can find anything about customs. 3. Yeah, you're not having a good time looking through these books. all these things make no sense at all to you. They
Those are
just,
black stars.
that means they're class.
So basically, when you
Featured.
put a point in there, it'll go up by more than one. It goes up by a couple.
Well,
Yeah,
initially.
the first time.
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
It means that basically whatever class you picked is prone to do those things.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, the books aren't really helping you much. They just kind of they're almost contradictory in what you're finding. Are you looking at anything up, Sylvanus?
No. I'm just hanging out with the kid.
Okay,
We still have a 6-year-old that is in the library.
true.
206-year-old.
Yeah. Well, you can just minus the 200.
Technically 256 years old.
Yeah. Well, it acts just like a 6-year-old.
Yes, it does. Yes, he does. And honestly, he's having a really good time just folding paper and playing with stuff, and he's probably right about now taking a nap.
Can I, not quickly, I guess, quickly look up the, let me try English. Can I look up something on Crystal and Time Dragons?
Yeah, so you spent most of the afternoon and evening looking up stuff about customs and things like that. The library is closing, but they lead you to some quarters. They've got plenty of food for you, and it's not like super extravagant or anything, unless you want to stay somewhere else and go do something else.
This is fine for now.
But they shoo you out of the library to, like, near dusk.
Okay.
Library in general.
Okay. We head over to the quarters they've set up for us.
It's basically one room with 4 beds.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to do anything special?
What time is it right now?
It's probably about. Well, it's probably about 5:30 in the evening. It's starting to get dark sooner.
Yeah. Still pretty early. Do we want to like train or anything, or do we want to just?
Can I try practicing something with Lue?
Yeah.
Cool.
You can practice with Takesis too. Yeah, you practice for a little while. It's. Do you speak Elven?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Okay, so it's similar. Like if you've ever like heard like Spanish,
Yeah.
and then Italian,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
it's very similar. So there's a lot of similarities, but it's not like you're having a hard time getting the accent right.
Okay.
But yeah, with practice, you'll get better and better and better at it. Reading it
Thank you.
is a whole different ball
Who
game.
needs to read?
Well, it's more like French, where the syllables just don't make sense unless you know them.
Let's have 4 extra letters for no
Exactly.
And it's pronounced poof.
Or Y
How
instead of
it is 8 letters long and you're saying it's P.
But with time and study. So yeah, night rolls around. Anybody want to do anything specific before you go to bed? Did you want to train?
Yeah, I'll train a little bit.
Did you want to train with these guys or just go outside and train?
If they want to train with me, that's fine.
I'll go train with you. He's chatterboxing over there, and I
That's
don't
fine.
understand what the hell they're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, some of the guards take you out, and these big, fucking beefy ass 9-foot tall bee women with spears and stuff are just kind of like, just standing there watching you on the training grounds. They have training grounds. They have to.
Yeah.
And they watch you like run around and do your thing, and they've got dummies and stuff like that.
Yeah, running around. I attack you.
Are you training for something in particular?
Teamwork skills?
Yeah, teamwork skills or like increase my ability with a bow. You know.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean-
working mainly on my bow.
Okay, so not really teamwork skills, more like unless you're enchanting. And I mean, is there a teamwork skill on there that you would like to work towards?
Where do I see that?
Go to your
Add
feet
features.
and try adding one, but don't add and just scroll down.
Or you can go to your
Existing.
little scroll thing and do feats and teamwork feats.
T for team. Okay. Alliance.
Yeah, Louis not very good at reading, so she's having a hard time helping you with the lettering of the actual. But she speaks it fluently.
Okay.
And at a certain point, it just gets annoying her correcting you constantly, and you're just like, fine, whatever, let's go to bed.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
That is a good one.
Which one?
Duck and cover. Take Ali's result on a reflex saving throw.
There's also one, there's a switch one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was looking at that
It
one
was
too.
like, when you're right next to somebody, you can automatically switch with them without an attack of opportunity. That would be really good for you two,
Yeah.
just in case somebody gets, or something gets close to you and he has to switch. Are there any, like, magic ones that you guys can practice?
There's sure healing for you guys.
Share healing. Share healing.
Yeah, so sure healing when you and your
companion creature have this feature, and your companion creature is adjacent to you or sharing your square. You receive a benefit of healing spell, whether from yourself or another source. You can divide the hit points here evenly between yourself and your companion creature.
except he never takes any damage.
No, you say like just to channel positive energy
Mhm.
for that.
Yeah, but if you guys practice it,
Yeah.
You'd have to be adjacent though.
we're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Well,
Interesting.
yeah, so instead of wasting a whole channel positive energy, which, do you have selective channeling?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, if you don't, then
Yeah, I have selective channel. That was the first thing I got.
yeah, definitely a really good feat for that.
Oh, stealth synergy's not bad either.
I saw that.
Okay, well, we'll look into this.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
definitely look into it later
we're-
on.
We're just building up our camaraderie, our teamwork.
So as you go to bed and put the kids to bed, you hear them come in breathing heavy. You can smell their sweat,
Okay.
and they go wash off and hit the hay exhausted. You wake up the next morning. There's basic fare, porridge, and a little bit of fruit and nuts. There for you to eat, and are back into the library.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go back to the library?
That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can spend another day here.
Are you going to continue looking for certain things? Are you looking are you going to try a different avenue of what you're looking for? Nicomas?
I still want to know, what was I trying to learn? The families?
Yeah. So do you want to look into the races of the Feywild?
Yeah, let's do that.
Can I know that Blue Way has never been there, but she knows people who have been there. Can I ask to talk to them about that, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you talk to Lue about it.
Mhm.
She's like, well, the Hamadryad's been there. She goes back and forth all the time.
Okay. Do you think you could set up a meeting? Could I meet her? And...
Well, I mean, she said that if you had any questions, you could go back and ask. And Lord Halloran would probably help out too.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you remember them?
They were the ones that we saved in the.
The very. I don't even think you were
I
here.
was my first day.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember them. Yeah. So if you guys want to go to the library, or you can come with me.
I want to research Crystal and Time Dragon.
Okay. Go. What are you looking up specifically? Races
General
and things like
information on them right now.
Yeah, I want to know,
Sorry.
the races, and if any way discern, what are the older and more
Okay.
common,
The
the
different
races.
ones.
Okay, go ahead and
Painting of the different
roll
people. That's
a-
where you got your
Challenge.
Shoot.
Yeah. It was the first time I was here. So
You know what? Go ahead and
probably
roll a
didn't have-
geography check. Because you're talking about a specific area and
It
the
was
people
the
in it.
second order.
45.
45. All right.
I'm not playing this time.
So you find you start perusing through books and things like that, and you find behind a couple of books a scroll that's been kind of shoved back, forgotten about. You unroll it, and it's very brief, but you actually find a name in there. What languages do you speak?
Common, Dwarven, Elvish, Aklo, and Draconic.
This spell would comprehend languages, right?
It's nothing that you know. Comprehend languages is only spoken languages. It's a verbal thing.
I thought there was another one that was.
I think you're thinking read magical items.
Well, no.
I thought I had that spell too. Hold on. We've done this before.
Yeah, no big deal. I can wait. So you're looking at which one, dragon or crystal or time?
Start with time.
Let's go through that one first.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check. I don't know why you got stuck researching shit.
He's a curious cat.
Oh, you were having the hardest time finding things in this fucking library. There are words everywhere,
I'm
and
very dumb, so there's also
what's your intelligence?
11.
That's not dumb. That's above average. 10 is
I
average.
just didn't put anything in knowledge.
Well, you didn't have anything to put in.
Alright, I have it. It's comprehend languages. It lets you understand and read, just not speak.
Okay.
Okay.
So you cast it.
Yeah.
Okay, you cast it, and the symbols rearrange into some semblance of common that you can read. And it mentions a race of ancient elven creatures called the Pervin. It says that the Pervin are very old, very ancient creatures of the Feywild. They control they used to control much of it, and over time the reproduction rate grew. They just didn't reproduce as much. They were having a hard time dealing with the other things that were taking over part of the Feywild, and apparently their race died out. That's what the scroll says. But at the very end there's an addendum, and kind of like a question mark, like maybe. And it gives a brief description of like the area that they used to live in. It was in the autumn of the Feywild, and it's very dangerous. It's an ancient forest. It's guarded by many powerful beings, and yeah, that's pretty much all you get out of it.
Okay. Guys, I found like this really probably dead, gone race of old Fae that lived in the autumn, which is evidently a very dangerous and crazy part of the Feywild.
I mean, down to check it out.
I mean,
It's the only lead we have.
let's go try to get killed looking for people that may or may not exist. I'm down.
I mean, isn't that what our normal job is?
Yep.
And you're going to the Feywood?
Yes.
Okay. It's going to take you most of the day to get in and out.
With Louie.
You're going with Louie? Okay.
Well, she's introducing me.
So yeah, you're pretty close. I mean, you're not too far away from it.
Yeah.
You get there, and she looks around. She kind of flies back and forth, and she finds a little entrance where the trees aren't too dense, and you follow her in there. It's similar to the first time you were in there, where the path is there, but it's not really a path. It's very difficult to follow, but she seems to know where she's going. She used to live here before she teamed up with you guys. After about 5 or 6 hours, you finally come to a clearing. And it's a large round clearing with one giant oak in the center and elm trees all the way around. To each side of the oak are centaurs with spears, and as you enter the clearing, you notice that other centaurs materialize out of the other trees, and they look pretty guarded. They're kind of wondering why you're wandering into the Feywild, but they kind of tolerate you since you're not hurting anyone. Louie kind of turns around, stay here for a second. And she flies off towards the oak and kind of flies up into the branches, and you don't really see or hear anything for a bit, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the actual oak, you're kind of looking at it, and it looked like bark a second ago, and now it looks like there's kind of a face, and now kind of a body, and it looks like it's just kind of just being extracted, not forcefully, but it looks like she's literally walking through bark, and the bark is turning into a beautiful woman that you recognize with long blonde hair, brown bark-like dress, and she steps out, and it is Fayun, the lady of the Feywood. She steps down. So you've returned.
I have, Lady Fayun. I came here hoping to ask you a few questions.
I have some time.
Okay. We are looking to enter. We are looking for a very ancient race of Fae that had been used in the past to create the orbs that the people in San Francisco use.
We're not there.
You're not there. That's just me.
No, I was like, yeah, did you tell him?
No, because he wasn't there.
Mhm.
Simultaneously, he was going to the Feywood.
Yeah.
And we're looking. We actually have found a child in our travels, and are looking to return him to his family.
All right. I don't know any ancient. I mean, everything in the Feywild is ancient.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the rulers of the Feywild are very dangerous and ancient as well. I definitely wouldn't want to get caught up with them if I were you.
Okay.
But no, unfortunately, I don't have any information on an ancient. What kind of race was it? Do you know?
I don't. They just said it was like an ancient fairy child that we had found that speaks Sylvan. I think it's called.
Yes,
Yeah.
most of us speak Sylvan.
Yes. Okay. And we're just looking to return them. They said that we may have to enter into the
The Feywild.
Feywild. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I know there are two different parts, and if you tell us maybe like how to get there and like any tips or.
I can definitely guide you into the Feywild. Getting out might be a little more difficult. Since you are not Fey, it's not easy to step in between. There is a portal in this wood that you may use under my lord's supervision. I will warn you though, it is extremely dangerous, and I don't know where you will end up or when you will return.
Okay.
We're going outside of
Okay. Well, thank you for all the information. Yeah, obviously, I will not be going alone. I will have to go and speak with my comrades. But you should maybe hear from us in a couple days to a week.
All right. One small warning about the Feywild.
Mm-hmm.
Mortals may find what they seek there, but when they return, they may not remember any of their time in the Feywild.
Okay.
So be very careful.
I'll be very careful. Thank you.
And Louie flies down, and she's like, "It's probably best to go now."
I think so too.
So she leads you to the edge of the forest. You spent the first half of the day looking for crystal dragons, time dragons.
Second half of the day, Crystal.
Okay.
Or
Do you want
time,
some help?
seeing as you don't know anything about them.
I can help you.
I got a new dice.
Go
I
for
can
it.
still give you advantage.
Advantage.
Got it. So you guys work together the second half of the day.
The Crystal Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
13.
That was pointless.
So crystal dragons are definitely a version of a primal dragon. They are not, as opposed to gold, bronze, silver, brass, and copper, they don't deal well with society. They like to keep to themselves. You will probably find them deep underground, in gem mines. Not really gem mines, but caverns and things like that. Let's see. They are good dragons, but they are not always helpful. You also know that they are extremely vain.
So we need a giant gold-encrusted mirror to bribe a good but maybe not so helpful dragon to help us.
We gotta get a time dragon scale first.
Why the time dragon scale first?
Because the crystal dragon's forming the orb.
Yeah.
No, we don't need it first. We need the crystal dragon to form the orb.
To refine it.
Not
Oh,
to,
I guess
like-
we'll have to-
They're all independent.
Yeah.
One doesn't rely on the other.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'm out there. So I don't know.
Right, you were not there. It is getting on in the evening, and Sylvanas has not returned. What are you two doing?
Is Louis back?
Alue is not back either.
I'm just gonna ditch
We don't really know that. Sometimes she gets a little.
Yeah,
like,
she gets like her things.
she'll get a little excited and she'll run off.
She's with you.
Yeah, she's with me.
Is Tokisis there?
Tokisis is around. Yeah, he's been kind of like he's been a little bored today and kind of started tearing stuff up and got into a little trouble. And one of the guards took him out and started teaching him how to fence, just to keep him busy and tire
Go
him out.
run laps, kid.
Yeah, 6-year-old with a sword.
Yeah.
That's
Great
good.
idea.
I got a wood sword.
Sticks.
Sticks.
Are they still out there? So I want to
Yeah.
practice Sylvan again.
Yeah. I mean, some of the librarians know it as well.
Yeah, can I practice in some of the library?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for a couple hours before
Go to bed.
dinner bell rings, blah blah blah. Yeah. Are you doing anything in the evening, or are you just continually poring over books as well?
Continue pouring over books.
Okay.
You didn't really find out anything yet about
Time dragon.
time dragons. So can I do
Right.
that?
Tomorrow maybe. I mean, you looked up the Pravan and you looked up the crystal dragons with him.
Right.
So you only have a couple hours, and you probably, I mean, go ahead and look anyway. Do a knowledge arcana as well. But in a couple of hours, it's going to be a really high DC.
Now, dainty hands. You want to do this?
27?
Yeah, you're having a hard time finding things about it for now. You
Okay.
need a little more time.
And Arcana's my strongest one.
Sorry, I'll stop looking.
So it gets on to be probably about like 8 o'clock, and Sylvanas hasn't come back yet.
We're not really that concerned.
Hey, you go.
darling.
Nothing. Well, a check on
Nothing.
you. Nothing. We really need like trackers on each one of us, especially Sylvanas.
I can whisper at him. I did figure out how to do that.
If you want to do that,
I don't know if he's close enough.
cheers.
What's the? Oh, it's 8
miles.
miles.
Yeah. Alright, I can whisper. Let me see what that does.
Also, did you tell her the name of the child?
No, probably not. Give her back there anyways. T-Dog.
T-Dog.
T-Bone.
Well, that does nothing.
What?
You can only talk to me and I can't talk back.
No, I can only talk to you and you can't talk back, and I can only send it to a designated spot that I know of, and it whispers the message whether or not someone is there or not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, kind of pointless because you've never been to where he's going.
I don't know where he went.
Just go search for him? Do we wait till tomorrow?
We're not walking back.
I mean, all I got is like I could do Snapdragon fireworks, like setting up a giant flare to come home. You stop walking off. Well, that's telling us where you're going.
I told you where I was
I
going.
don't have anything.
I told you I was going to talk to Lady
Fayun.
Faye.
Yeah, but I don't know where that's at.
No.
You know it's in the Feywood.
It was a long walk.
Maybe you're dead.
I could be dead.
Dying.
Almost 2 times. One time I wasn't here. The other time you just left me laying on the ground.
It just didn't want to wake you up and tell you your mom was dead.
It's true.
Alright, that's all I've got.
That's fine.
Okay. So the night passes. Do you guys like stay up and wait, or do you go to bed?
I'm going to bed.
I'm
It's
going
not
to
uncommon
bed.
for him not to
Okay.
show
We're going
up.
to bed. We're in
Alright.
like a relatively safe zone.
Yeah.
He's not there
Um,
tomorrow morning, then I'll be concerned.
You wake up in the morning and he is still not there. It's a new day.
Found out about an orb, and Sylvanas finds a way to make it all about himself.
Wow. Wow.
Alright, well now we're stuck with this. Do we go and try and hunt him out? We kind of know where the Fey Woods are, or
The general idea.
do we wait, just assuming that maybe he stayed the night there for safety and is traveling back this morning?
I don't think he would do that. I don't know Feywood's being like the safest place.
What did you roll on the Feywild?
What was
The first one. The first roll.
20?
The 20? Okay.
I'd say we should go look for him. Because even if so, yeah, I think we should look for him. Just in case, because he has a bad habit of dying. So, like,
As you guys are having this discussion, Tokisis is sitting right next to you, kind of shoveling food into his face.
oh yeah, can we ask Tokisis? He's like,
And he looks over, and you hear in Sylvan, just wait.
okay.
Alright.
And then he goes right back to eating.
He said to wait.
Alright, well, he's been pretty good at predicting things that we don't really know about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
might as well just wait.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys just...
Library,
Okay, go ahead
Time
and
Dragon.
roll again. Arcana.
You do Time Dragon.
49.
49, alright.
Think you
Alright,
got it?
so...
For sure, you should have been knowing this from the start.
It's really nice having a bard around.
No
I'm gonna-
shit,
I'm gonna
right?
go practice my Sylvan with the library.
Awesome.
Early on today, because I just like my hubris has been like broken.
Having a bard around for knowledge checks is really awesome.
The guards are like, can you please watch this child? We do not have time.
Okay, bringing Tokisis with me.
Okay, and you start playing games, and you start talking back and forth, and it's actually a lot easier than the studying part, because you're literally interacting with him.
With a 6-year-old.
Yeah, with the 6-year-old,
But he's
but
talking it.
Yeah, no,
but yeah, you're like chatting back and forth,
Yeah.
and it's easier to do that than
just studying.
yeah, just sitting there like going over phrases.
Okay.
And it's actually turning out to be a lot easier for you.
Alright.
So go ahead and put one notch in linguistics, and add Sylvan to your.
Okay.
It's not, you can't read it, but you can definitely speak it. You find out that time dragons are guardians of history. They're the most powerful of the outer dragons. Watchers and waiters, time dragons guard the universe against those who would interfere with the natural temporal order. They are extremely powerful. You probably don't want to go up against one. They are neutral. And let's see if there's any other knowledge that I can give you that... Let's see...
Time dragons, powerful, yet guard order. Neutral. Maybe we should convince them to give us a scale instead of trying to get a scale.
They're a conundrum as far as like their physical like their look. There's mention of like someone running into one and half its scales were falling off and cracking, and the other half were brand new growing in.
Falling off.
They are immortal.
Well, that means we run a good chance of finding one.
Yeah, they don't die of old age.
Do they die of crabbiness?
They are clairvoyant.
Oh, great.
They are very alien. Let's see. You actually find something in there that, like, it's kind of a weird language, and you don't get it at first, but you realize that it's and it looks brand new. Like it looks like somebody just wrote it about 4 or 5 years ago. But the language seems very, very old. And as you get into it, you realize that this person, whoever's writing this, has met a time dragon and angered it. And as it attacked, its breath element actually displaced it in time and sent him into the future.
Cute.
Yeah.
Can it send us backwards to before the orbs were stolen?
You also find out that they travel through time.
It's time dragon. I'm pretty sure that's like it's in the title.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking if we could stop all this shit before it goes down.
Right.
Like killing Hitler before he took power. But what
Yeah,
happened?
but they're very picky and they're very hard to get along with.
I'm sure they also don't think people just all the time.
And I will look up.
Well, the guardians of it, they don't like disorder, so probably.
You can always ask.
Can we fuck with time?
I do not have a
It
time
is
turner now.
generally frowned upon due to consequences.
No, it's just. Oh, I was kidding.
The whole
There
time.
are actual spells that do that.
Fuck
Yeah.
with time.
Yeah, they're very dangerous.
They're very, 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 very high level as well.
The whole time paradox thing. People don't really like to fuck with that.
Yes.
Dimensions.
And they are usually like their environment is actually like it says air or sky in colder climates. So they're tops of mountains. They actually live on certain types of cloud, like magical clouds. They make their environment in the air, so they're very difficult to get to as well as find in certain times.
So basically, when we find the Care Bears, we find time dragons.
Yeah.
Got it.
Or Rainbow Bright, one of the three.
Can anyone summon a rainbow? Do we need to find a leprechaun with Shillelagh?
With the Shalai.
You're at the top of the mountain, right?
Probably with a high mountain peak. What would be great is if we could find this guy that was displaced in time.
That's accurate. Where was he?
I don't know, I just know that it looks like, based on the story, that he was displaced in time.
Mm-hmm. Do we? Is there? Oh, sorry. This is your thing.
You guys are close enough to
Oh.
go in and out of earshot.
Is there
Lunchtime.
No. This
I know.
one. Is there notes on when people added what, like keynotes, or like the reference notes at the end when people add things?
Well, I just know it looks new.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know.
He's asking if there's like a name on there. Right?
Yeah, it's like a name that added the.
It doesn't look like there's a name.
They're not. Yeah.
You'd have to give me a bit because I just made all that shit up. So, but
I
it sounds
could
like
discern a name.
it sounds more like a diary, and not so much like a research thing.
Yeah, okay.
It's very first person. Like I did this, I did that, this happened to me, and it's very off the wall. It's so weird because I mean, obviously dealing with different times and things, he was very confused.
I mean, I'd just like to know what general area-ish he found one, and what he did to piss it off, so we don't do the same thing.
I will have to work on that later. If you want to scribe it
Well,
and take it with you, then I will work on that later.
I can describe it.
we need to get Chikosis back to his family, whatever, right?
Chikusus,
Chikosis. T-Dog.
tuberculosis.
We need to get,
T-Bone.
we need to get Trizzle back to.
Come on, Trizzle, my Nizzle, let's go.
We can get Drizzle back to his home.
Well, I mean, it sounds like we're either gonna get killed by being lost in time,
Killed by being lost in the Feywoods and not being able to get back.
or
Killed
killed.
by a crystal dragon in the depths of the dungeon.
Yeah, that probably molds us into a giant crystal of something.
So let's start with Feywoods killing.
Perfect.
Okay. The day goes by. No Sylvanas. And
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Not because he's not back, but because he has most of our money.
Accurate.
the sun starts going down, and you walk out of the Feywood, and it is evening. Feels like the same day.
Time.
Um,
Feywoods,
And you head back to the library, and right about 7 o'clock, Sylvanas walks around the corner with Lue, and
Hey guys,
Where you been? It's been like 2 days.
what are you talking about? It feels I just left like a couple hours ago.
I've been.
I mean, we notice when you're not around to annoy us.
Yeah, I know. Like, why am I thinking something?
I mean,
It was
I
very dull and quiet.
missed you guys too. But I mean, I was only gone for like maybe 12, 13 hours.
Girl, it was more like
No.
28.
Huh.
Under the understanding that we're on a 24-hour cycle.
Did you happen to run across a time dragon and get shot in the future? Because as we understand it, that is a thing now.
Oh, well, no, not that I recall. But I mean, I was just in the Feywoods. There may be some sort of timey-wimey,
Time distortion.
time distortion thing going on there.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey is what you're looking for.
That was what I was looking for. But I
You
don't
couldn't
remember.
tell by checking
wow,
your
Doctor
sundial?
Who.
That was what I was looking
Wibbly
for. That's
wobbly,
literally what I was
timey
looking
wimey
for.
situation.
It really got away from you there, huh?
It's been a while since you've seen Blink.
It's a long time.
Right.
David Tennant was a while ago.
Yeah, he was. Let's go ahead and take a break.
Okay.
Oh, because I need to get up. Are you doing that apologizing to inanimate objects again?
I was apologizing to you because I
Oh.
to your cabinet.